Okay. This is the first time I've done it from this platform, so I hope I've got it right. I am frozen. Okay, there we go. So, hey guys, I'm Fancy, and this is Murder by Design. This week, Colleen is a bit swamped with school and teaching, so I decided I'd come on and update you guys on some of the cases we've been following, and things have gotten even crazier. So, we wanted to start tonight's episode by clearing up some misconceptions on our episode on Gannon Stauch. In that episode, we mistakenly identified Gannon as an 11-year-old autistic boy. What we have since learned is that his mother has said that Gannon has ADHD and needs medication for that. We're sorry for the confusion we might have caused. We have been following that case and the case of the missing Idaho children where JJ Vallow is autistic, and we reported the details wrong, attributing that to Gannon as well. Again, we apologize. It was an error on our part, and our only goal here is to bring truth and light to these cases and help bring awareness to aid in bringing these children home. So, we're very sorry if it caused any confusion or upset anybody, but we definitely just want to make sure that we report the right things. And we always, if we make a mistake, we're always going to correct it if we find out we do. So, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much for joining me on my very first Sunday Chat Live. I'm super excited. So, there have been a few updates in Gannon's case, and I'm going to be covering that case as well as the crazy things going on in the Lori Vallow case, because that case is so strange. So, first, I'm going to go over some of the stuff with Gannon because I've got a lot to do with Lori Vallow. I have tons of documents that I've found that have been coming out in the press, and we're going to go over lots of those, but we're going to go over Gannon. So we brought this case to you last week, and it's been developing a little bit since then. As of today, Gannon Stauch is still missing. He's an 11-year-old boy. He is missing in Colorado, and he has been missing since January 27th, 2020. So in the 3 weeks that the police have been investigating his disappearance, over 700 tips have come in. And guys, if you have any questions or you want to have any comments or any, please feel free to join the chat. I will be happy to answer them as I see them coming through. Okay. So we are happy to answer those questions. And if I don't know, I will absolutely go and find out and give it to you in an update in the next episode. But 700 tips have come in. And the police have had both large scale and smaller, more specific searches in both El Paso County and Southern Douglas County. And at this time, the searching has been called off. So law enforcement has not given an exact reason, but just stating that the search teams are available should an investigative lead require them to resume searching. So I don't know, that can mean a lot of different things. I know that the snow is playing a big part in their search efforts. It's hampering them a lot, but they have done an extensive amount of searching and still have come up very, blank. They don't have anything. They've been sticking like sticks down in. They had a radar that they were using. So, I mean, they've done pretty exhaustive amount of searching. So, but here's the update. So the crime scene investigators have returned to the home. So on Friday was 25 days after the Gannon Stauch was last seen in the Colorado Springs. The Colorado Springs Police Department and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Metro Crime Lab were back at the home of the missing boy as part of the ongoing investigation into his disappearance. So, they have been there back again. We don't know what exactly they're looking for, but they have been bringing things out of the house as evidence. There was like a big thing that they brought out at one point in time. So the El Paso County Sheriff's Office led an intensive search of a 35-acre west of Larkspur that began on questions tonight. Just let me know, okay? All I can say is that, and this is from the Jacqueline Kirby, the sheriff's spokeswoman. She said, all I can say, sorry, my daughter is cleaning up the kitchen, so it may be a little loud. It's okay. All I can say is in the absence of search efforts any day, it does not mean we are not investigating this case with every resource available to us. They have yet to lay a criminal investigation, But I'm going to say with the crime scene investigators returning to the home, one can only suspect it may be taking that turn. So, I mean, I'm sorry, my money is still on the stepmother doing something. And I have some information. I was watching a YouTube video from a analyst who analyzes the way people, body language and speaking and patterns of speech and what they actually say, the choosing the words. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I watched, and then I'm going to tell you how to go watch it too, because it was super good. Hey, Christina, thank you for joining. Can you help out with the chat, because I can't chat and do live at the same time? So thank you. Okay, so one of the other things that is happening in this case, and they want to make sure that you're not doing, I'm really white. Like, maybe the light needs to be a little less. Let's see here. Oh, there, that's better, huh? I like that better. Do you guys like that better? Do I look better? Okay, so one of the things that they are making sure that people know about is that there have been some false donation things going on. So the family of Gannon Stauch is warning people to beware of online donation pages claiming to be collecting funds for search efforts. Now, first of all, the police are not using volunteer searchers, which is kind of different. I'm really surprised, because normally they do. I mean, but they're choosing not to, and that makes me wonder why they're choosing that. That's really interesting to me. But anyway, the 11-year-old was reported missing nearly 4 weeks ago, but online interest continues to grow in this case. So several Facebook groups have thousands of members from across the country engaged in discussion over what happens to Gannon. A family member of Gannon's posted in these groups Saturday, warning them about donating to sources not connected to the family. So the El Paso County Sheriff's Office tweeted saying, "We as an office cannot confirm the legitimacy or speak on any fundraisers established." So Veronica Tuberville Strickland Birkenstock, wow, that is a hell of a name, is a painful time. We are not participating in anything that law enforcement has warned us against and has not been approved by those who are in charge of this investigation. Those who wish to donate to the family are to do so through Gannon's church and select the Gannon Stauch Support Fund. And we will link that after the video ends. I'll go ahead and put a link for that in here for you guys in the description. So it'll be down below. And then their Restoration Church is donating all proceeds directly to Gannon's family. Donations can also be made directly to the search effort through the El Paso County Sheriff's Office website. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is fluid and search efforts can start up at any time depending on where the investigation leads them. So that's how that you can contribute if you'd like to contribute financially. I know that the family is going through just a horribly awful time, and I'm sure they would appreciate anything that you guys can do for them. But mainly just getting the word out, sharing their story, talking about it, and hoping that we can find Gannon. Now, so do you guys have any questions or any ideas on the case? I'm open for anybody to make any questions or anything so far. Is there anything you guys have been wanting answered? Have you been following the case a lot? Anyway, so my thoughts here is I'm finding the actions of the stepmom to be like totally suspicious. So Gannon left with her on Monday morning, and from the surveillance footage from her neighbor, it doesn't appear he returns and gets out of the vehicle. And nobody can confirm that they saw him anywhere with her either. So I don't know. The story just doesn't add up. And she keeps changing it. And one of the things that's really bothering me is that anytime that she is interviewed, it's all about her. Like what is happening to her and how this is upsetting to her. And she was this and she was that. And it's no concern for Gannon whatsoever. And that's what I was saying. I watched a video analyzing Leticia's statement. It was super, super interesting. If you'd like to watch the whole thing, I'll drop a link to the analyst, but his name is Peter Hyatt. And he breaks down lots of these types of cases and statements. He has done stuff for Madeline McCann. He just covered Faith, the little girl. Oh, I know. Her apology was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like she wants an apology. Oh God, that just ticked me the hell off. Like you don't just want to be happy that your child is home. That just don't even get me started on that. So he's really fascinating in what he does. And I've seen a couple of these and I don't agree with some of them. Like I watched one that broke down Darlie Routier and I totally thought that that was bogus. But this guy made a lot of really good points. And I'm going to cover some of them here and then you can go and watch the rest of it. Like I said, I'll drop the link for you guys. But his name's Peter Hyatt. So in the statement, Leticia starts off by stating that she took care of Gannon for the past 2 years because his mother didn't want to. So that shows some resentment, according to Peter. And I really kind of thought the same thing and the feelings about things. She also uses past tense of I took care of Gannon, not I'm taking care of Gannon. So she past tense and she does that quite a bit throughout things that she talks. And that is an indication sometimes that they already know this child and they are not expecting them to come home. So he goes on, she then goes on to say that she would never hurt this child. That's super fascinating. Okay, that sentence alone is really telling. So one, she's distancing herself from Gannon by referring to him as this child. I'm sorry if it's freezing, guys. I don't know what else I can do. I know that I don't see me freezing here. I'm really sorry. Hopefully it'll come through a little better. I'm so sorry, T. You could try going out and coming back in. Sometimes that helps. I don't know. But so by saying this child, she's distancing herself from Gannon by referring to him as this child instead of my child or my stepson or my Gannon or even just Gannon. She later refers to her daughter with possessive statements showing her level of care for her own child. But with Gannon, she never shows that same level of love or connection. So also, according to Peter, she is offering a statement that she was not directly asked about and introducing the word hurt. So why would she offer that up at this time? So, right, exactly. Cindy did that with Kaylee. Yeah. So according to Peter, she's offering a statement that she's not directly asked, and why is she introducing that word? So why would she offer it up now? She then goes on to talk about her concern for her daughter being a victim of police showing concern for the non-missing child, but not for the child that's missing. I didn't hurt him, or because she's offering that without anyone ever even accusing her of that. So that's kind of like her putting it in there and projecting what people might think about her based on the fact that she knows what she's done. So I think this one knows more than she's telling. I think that she did something. Maybe it was an accident, and maybe she's doing everything she can to cover it up. Peter, in his analysis, says that from her statement, he can garner that she definitely hurt him, but he can't tell if that is emotionally or physically, or if it was now, or if she had been abusive. He does say that the language that she uses is very indicative of an abusive environment, and that he would have been growing up in some sort of abusive environment with her. I think it's also very telling that Albert has thrown her out of the house and has taken his ex in. And they are working together to try and find their child. But this woman just keeps showing up and only talking about how hard this has been on her, but not in terms of like Gannon missing, but more in like how people are treating her. So I agree with Peter, stating that he thinks she's self-centered. He says she has narcissistic tendencies, and he would have to talk with her more to diagnose her further. Then she refers to him over and over in the past tense, like I was saying earlier, and that she's not expecting him to come home. So check out the rest of Peter's assessment. It's super, super chilling. You can just search Peter Hyatt and you should be able to find it. But like I said, I'll drop the link below. While you're there, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss any of our other things. So If you've been listening to our podcast, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, then you might have noticed some changes. That's because we recently switched our hosting platform over to Buzzsprout. And I freaking love it. We couldn't have had a smoother transition. Buzzsprout's made it super simple, and they've given us amazing features we never got before. And so if you've been thinking of hosting a podcast, or you are looking for a new hosting platform, then we recommend giving Buzzsprout a try. And it's hands down one of the easiest, best ways to launch. They promote you. They get you all over on the podcast directory within minutes of finishing your recording. So you can join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. And if you follow the link in the show notes, that lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and it gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps. So check it out. I love Buzzsprout. It's really amazing. All right. So if anybody has any questions on Gannon, let me know, and we'll try and come back around to them. But I'm going to start to go ahead and move on to this crazy pant frickin' case. Like, whoo-wee. I thought I'd seen a lot of crazy things in my time, guys, but this one is, of course, I'm talking about the Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow, Lori Vallow, and Chad Daybell, and all the people that are dead and missing. It's insanity, like total insanity. Never seen anything like it. So, an update. This gets bizarre, more bizarre every day, but Lori has been arrested. Praise God. Okay. Her bail has been set at $5 million. So she needs about $500,000 to bond on his first wife, Tammy, who he married her only 2 weeks after Tammy had passed away. And Tammy was originally, her death was originally just normal causes, and now they've exhumed her body and they have deemed it suspicious. So they are looking into it now. It's kind of crazy. So, but that's how they've been able to live so well in Hawaii, because he's had all this money. So they're able to do all the different things that they're doing. But to my understanding, in addition to the $500,000, they also need collateral that somehow equals $5 million. So I don't think they have that anywhere near to that. So I don't think she's going to get to bond out. She is, however, contesting her extradition back to Idaho. Her evidence to extradite her. Your children are missing, and they've been missing since September, and nobody's seen them or heard from them. I think that's way more than enough. Okay. But it goes on and on. I mean, you have 20 freaking people dead around you. Not really 20, but a lot. There's all kinds of suspicious things. You ran when the police came and saw you. Like, they've collected different things from the houses. There's a lot of evidence here. And I think that police are doing a really great job. I do think that they have a lot that they're not telling yet. But there's a lot in this affidavit that I'm going to read you guys. Crazy. So anyway, apparently now they have to go through a process of determining her identification through fingerprints. I don't know all about that. Like, it seems odd to me that I don't know if that's normal protocol, and we're looking into that because I've never heard that. But I've also never seen where we had to extradite and move them back and everything. So I haven't gone through that in a case that I've been looking into yet. So maybe it is a thing. At first, I thought she was like trying to say she's not who she is. And I'm not quite certain that she's not. I think that may be a play that she pulls, because maybe she's transcended and she thinks that guys, the things that this woman, these people believe is, oh my God. It gets crazier every sentence I freaking read. So the public documents have started coming out in this case, and they are nuts. So, and on note, okay, so just so that we know, and I think that I said something about Melanie in the last one, and I don't know if I was clarifying which Melanie. There are 2 different Melanies in this case. So there's Melanie Gibb, and she's a friend that did the podcast with Lori and has been a member of this little culty thing that they're doing. But Melanie was asked by Lori to lie to police and say the children were with her when they were not. And she has since been cooperating with the police. But then Melanie number 2 is Melanie Bordeaux. And Melanie number 2 is Lori's niece. And again, she is involved with the Doomsday Cult. And she is now being accused of attempting to kill her ex-husband, Brandon. So he was shot at, and he has filed a response because she was trying to petition for her to have full custody of these children. And so that's the first thing I'm going to read. So this is the statement, his response petition. It says, mother's new husband has even provided statements to law enforcement that mother told him, and mother is Melanie, okay, because this is him. He's the father, she's mother. Mother told him shortly after their marriage that she conspired with her uncle to kill her father, to kill the father. Hold on. Just want to make sure I'm not bugging out like crazy. Somebody just messaged me and I want to make sure. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm good. All right. Sorry, guys. So mother's new husband has even given up his own parenting time out of what mother may do or have done to his children. Mother is currently under investigation regarding the attempted murder of the father. Mother's new husband has reported to law enforcement that mother revealed to him shortly after their marriage that she conspired with her uncle to kill father. She is also under investigation relating to the disappearance of her aunt's two missing children. Holy crap. Like, these people are just taking people out. Like, murderous, man. Murderous. I just, it's insanity. So, okay. So basically, this all started in 2007. So in 2007, there was, oh, hold on, I'm sorry. So in 2007 was when Alex Cox first tried to kill Charles, I believe. Dang it, I had the timeline and I messed it up. Hold on. Where is this? Hold on. I'm so sorry. So I thought this 911 call was the one that I did. Because this was the 911 call. Okay, so this is the 911 call when Alex Cox is shot or dies. So that's not the one I wanted. I'm so sorry. I thought I had the other one, guys, but I don't. So that's Alex Cox is actually dead too. It's super strange, all these people. So he was just found dead, like laying there in his new wife, who he'd only been married to for 2 weeks, who got married in an 8-minute ceremony in Vegas. That is the new wife and him, and the son of the wife did not even know that they had gotten married. He didn't even know Alex's last name. So that was crazy, but I'm not going to read that. What I want to do here, let me grab these and get these in order. I'm sorry, I printed them out right before it happened, and I want to make sure that I have them in order. Okay, so this is the, make sure I've got them in order. Okay, so 218. So here's first. First, we've got, sorry, guys. First, we've got the probable cause Ball. So Detective Ron Ball of the Rexburg Police Department, being first duly sworn under oath, depose and state as follows. The information contained herein is true and correct, as to my knowledge and belief. So he is a detective with the Rexburg Police Department, and he has been employed for over 27 years in law enforcement. He's currently a lieutenant, and he's over investigations in the Rexburg Police Department. He is currently an advanced certificate. He currently holds an advanced certificate and a management certificate for the Idaho Peace Officer Standards and Training Academy, and has over 2,500 hours of training. He's attended multiple trainings and classes, including graduating from the FBI National Academy in 2015. So he has received multiple hours of specialized training in investigations, conducted numerous investigations and interviews with suspects, victims, and witnesses involving narcotics, sex crimes, and fraud. And he has also received numerous hours of training on traffic stops and detention of criminal behavior. So he's rather qualified, because a lot of times, in these cases, you get a small town and the investigators are not prepared for taking on cases like this. This is super layered. There's a million different things, and they even have to coordinate with like different states because this has covered so many states now and what they have done with the there's fraud charges. There is, there's been suspicious deaths in Idaho, Arizona, with possibly at Yellowstone. Like there is all kinds of different crazy crap in this case. So on the afternoon of November 25th, 2019, the Rexburg Police Department was contacted by Gilbert, Arizona Police Department about a missing child, and that was about JJ. And see, this is where I got it from, and I knew that I had Stevie is a 7-year-old boy with autism who was supposed to be living with his adoptive mother, Lori Noreen Vallow. So that's where I got the autism. Super sorry, it was my error, but that's where I did see it. So anyway, he is a 7-year-old boy with autism who was supposed to be living with his adoptive mother. JV's grandmother, Kay Woodcock, had contacted the Gilbert Police Department about JV for a welfare check. Now, here's the thing about Kay Woodcock. Lori and Charles Vallow are the adoptive parents of JJ, but Charles is actually Kay's brother, so the grandmother's brother, and JJ is her grandson. And so she got custody of her grandson because the mother was mixed up in drugs. And I've seen statements from the mom. She's kind of all over the place. She says when JJ comes home, she's going to get custody back of him because and they adopted JJ so that because the grandparents could not give him as much attention as they felt that Charles and Lori would give him. So they've had him for a while. And so but she called for the welfare check. So that's how that happened. So Lori Vallow also has a daughter, and they're TR, so that's Tylee Ryan. As described further in this affidavit, while RPD was investigating the disappearance of JJ, the investigation grew to include a search for Tylee, who is also missing and has not been seen since September 8th, 2019. So he goes on to say that he's aware that Lori moved to Rexburg with JV near the first week of September. He's also aware that he was enrolled for 3 weeks at Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg, Idaho. And then he is further aware that he was seen by neighbors and near his apartment in Rexburg. And now there is a Ring doorbell, like the rings, footage of, that's the last video footage anybody has seen of JJ Vallow, and I have seen on the Fox 10 news site. It's basically just him running up the door and playing, and that was the end. And that's all you've seen, and that's the last anyone saw. At Kennedy Elementary School. On September 24th, Lori Vallow informed the school that JV would no longer be attending Kennedy Elementary and that Lori would homeschool him. Kennedy Elementary has informed RPD that no other school has. So if he's hiding here, they have not. Oops, I'm frozen. Okay. If they are hiding him somewhere, they have not requested records for a school. But that doesn't mean that he's not being homeschooled. I'm holding out hope here, guys, but I don't know. With all the other deaths and everything else that's gone on, I don't know. I'm not really hopeful. Are any of you hopeful? What do you guys think of this case? Have you been following this one? Let me know in the comments. So they have not been able to find any witnesses who have seen JJ since September 24th. He is familiar with Lori Vallow because the RPD had previously been contacted by the Gilbert, Arizona and Chandler, Arizona police departments, who requested help to obtain search warrants for a vehicle in Lori's possession. The vehicle was related to a possible attempted murder of Lori's niece's ex-husband, Brandon Bordeaux, in Arizona. That's Melanie. That's the second Melanie, the niece. Okay. And I am aware that Detective Ray Hermosillo has also performed intermittent surveillance on Lori Vallow at the request of the Gilbert Police Department. Starting on November 1st, Detective Hermosillo, I don't know how to say his last name, reports that he never once saw JV when he was performing surveillance during the month of November. So he's been surveilling her on this case of the death of her, or the attempted murder of her nephew-in-law, I guess is what you would say. And he never saw the kids. He never saw JJ. So the vehicle that they were talking about is a 2018 gray Jeep Wrangler bearing Texas license plates. The said vehicle is registered to Charles Vallow, who is that deceased husband of Lori, and that's the one that self-defense. I don't know how that went down. The Gilbert Police Department was interested in this vehicle because it had been identified in an attempted shooting at Brandon Brodeur in Gilbert, Arizona, October 2nd of 2019. Brandon had previously been married to Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie, and at the time of his attempted shooting, Brandon witnessed the Jeep, which he recognized as being the same vehicle that Tylee Ryan regularly drove. Brandon observed a rifle with a silencer coming out of the rear window of the Jeep, and then Brandon's vehicle was shot once in the front driver's door frame. As Brandon drove away, the Jeep followed, but eventually turned a different direction. This same Jeep observed by Brandon was seized pursuant to a search warrant in November of 2019 in Rexburg, Idaho. It's significant that the vehicle Tylee Ryan reported regularly drove was still in Rexburg nearly 2 months after the last known sighting of Tylee. So it's not like she took off in her car and left and didn't come back. She is just gone. And now they are using her car in, some sort of attempted murder plot against the nephew. Unbelievable. So, number 9, this is a long little thing, guys. I'm going to go through a lot of this. But anyway, number 9, they say they made contact with the Gilbert and Chandler Police Department that Lori Vallow's husband, Charles Vallow, was shot on July 11th, 2019 by Alex Cox. Lori Vallow is now married to Chad Daybell from Fremont County, Idaho. Daybell died in Fremont County, Idaho on October 19th, 2019. So literally easy. Please wait while we try connecting. Okay. Am I still live, guys? Can you still see me? Yep. Okay, now I'm back. Sorry. I was telling you guys that they're also aware that on July 11th, Charles Vallow was shot, and that was by Lori's brother. And then that Tammy Daybell died on October 19th, so just a couple months later. And then he was informed that Chad and Lori married approximately 2 weeks after the death of Tammy Daybell. He confirmed that they were married on November 20. The investigations, RPD discovered photographs of their wedding on a beach in Hawaii. Neither child is seen in any of those photographs. None of the kids are, because Chad has kids too, and they're not there either. So, but they're grown. They're grown, and I don't think they have very much to do with father. So, one of them is very strange. She's done a couple of things where she's like driven by and made weird faces at reporters and things and said strange stuff, but I don't know. So, and we've also been following Colby Ryan, who is Lori's older son, and he has been making pleas on his Facebook to his mother to just tell them the truth and tell them where his siblings are. He's very distraught. He's made several call outs, and we shared that on our Facebook page by proxy, which you can go to facebook.com/MBD True Crime, and you'll find that. But he's been trying to make an appeal to his mother, and it is so sad. It is just heartbreaking, and he misses his siblings very much. So crazy there. But anyway, on November 26, 2019, Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope from the RPD went to Lori's home located in Rexburg, Idaho, to conduct a welfare check. And they met with Lori's brother, Alex, but he doesn't know her well, and he doesn't even know her phone number. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, unbelievable. So Alex told the detectives that JJ was with his grandma, was the individual who first called in the missing child report to the Gilbert Police Department. So then Alex said Lori may be in apartment 107. They went to 107, but the apartment was completely empty and vacant. And at this time, they called and asked this detective to come to the premises to help search for JJ. So shortly after calling me, the detectives called again and indicated that he saw Chad Daybell driving a black Chevrolet Equinox away from the residence. Detective Hermosillo stopped Chad and asked him again if he had seen JJ. And Chad responded that the last time he had seen JJ was in apartment 107 in October. He also admitted he did know Lori Vallow's phone number and provided it to the detective. Oh my God. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Oh, so on that same day, this detective, which detective is this? Dang it. My God. Detective Ball. Okay, so Detective Ball, that's making this whole statement. Detective Ball and Detective Stubbs located and speak with Lori in her apartment number 175, and they identify themselves as police officers. And Lori told them that JJ was in Arizona with a friend named Melanie Gibb. That's the other Melanie, not the niece. So they obtained Melanie's phone number from Lori, and they ended their contact with Lori, immediately attempted to call Melanie Gibb, and they were unable to get a hold of her. Now, Melanie is supposedly now cooperating with the police. She's giving statements. She's not lying for them, but they are very upset because that's one of the charges, is that by doing all of this, they delayed. But they'd already delayed the search for the children for months and months. So, because Stubbs and Ball were unable to contact Melanie Gibb, they immediately contacted Lori Vallow again, and they requested that she call Melanie Gibb. So Lori told us that Melanie and JJ were at the movie Frozen 2, so it was unlikely Melanie would answer the phone. So then they instructed Lori to call her and have her call us so we could verify the location of JJ. By the evening of November 26, 2019, they had still not heard from Melanie. So they informed Detective Ryan Pillar of the Gilbert Police Department of the information we had received regarding the children being with Melanie Gibb. I have a stupid alarm going off. Okay. And received their children being with Melanie Gibb, and he was later informed that evening around 9:30 p.m., the Gilbert police went to the home of Melanie Gibb. Melanie was not home, but Detective Pillar contacted her by phone, and she stated that JJ was not staying at her Arizona house and had not been there for several months. So, on December 6th, RPD was contacted by Melanie Gibb and informed that both Chad Daybell and Ty and Lori Vallow called Melanie on November 26, 2019 at separate times and asked her to tell the police that she had JJ, even though JJ was not with her. Melanie informed RPD that she declined Chad and Lori's request, and this further establishes that the statement made to law enforcement by Lori Vallow on November 26th was false, and that Lori Vallow knew it was false. So, the statement made by Lori to RPD about JJ being with Melanie Gibb delayed the investigation into the whereabouts and safety of JJ by requiring them to take time to investigate a lead that was verified as false. So, on November 27th, they obtained search warrants to search Lori Vallow's apartment located in Rexburg. They are searching Melanie Bordeaux Palowski's because she goes off and marries some guy 2 weeks into knowing him and everything as well. An apartment. So they are searching Melanie's and Lori's apartments in Idaho and Alex Cox's apartment in Idaho. And he is the one that lives in 107 that had nothing inside of it. I mean, nothing other than a couple items small items in its garage. So all three apartments are part of the same complex. JJ was not located in any of those residences. It appears to me that most of the clothing in Lori's apartment had been removed. Other furniture was still there, and RPD believed that she left Rexburg with Chad Daybell the night of November 26, 2019. Melanie Bordeaux later confirmed that Chad and Lori did leave Rexburg that night. So Melanie did at least tell them that. So during the search of Lori Vallow's apartment, they found evidence that JJ was prescribed risperidone in the form of a pill bottle labeled with his name and the prescribed risperidone. And they have learned through research that risperidone is a tranquilizer prescribed to treat irritability caused by autism. The prescription was filled for JJ in January 2019 in Arizona, And the bottle still contained 17 pills. We have verified through the Idaho State Pharmacy Board that said prescription had never been filled in Idaho. So, on November 27th, 2019, they also served a search warrant on Lori Vallow's storage unit located at self-storage in Rexburg. And inside of the storage unit, we found a blanket with pictures of JJ on it, a blanket with pictures of Tylee on it, a backpack with JJ's initials on it, toys that appeared appropriate for a young boy, winter clothing, other children's clothing, bikes, a scooter, and a photo album. I think that's a strange assemblage of crap to put in a storage unit. I just don't even understand. You're just trying to get rid of anything that reminds you of the kids. I don't even. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Like, what do you guys think? Talk to me, guys. Tell me what you think. I agree, Christina. I really do think that they're gone. I mean, she could have ended this just by producing those kids. And no, she's in jail. She's still not talking. I just can't imagine somebody sitting in jail. But I do have some information on that I am going to share later that is bananas. Okay? Bananas. So let me get through this. I've got some banana crap. It's crazy. Crazy. Okay? So, soon after they execute the search warrants, they got the scooter and the photo album. So RPD was further made aware that the credit debit card Lori Vallow provided to Self Storage Plus was declined on January 2nd. And the owner of Self Storage Plus has reported to law enforcement that as regular operating procedure, he had reached out to Lori by phone, text, and email, but had not found her back. And at this time, Lori Vallow has not attempted to provide another debit credit card to the self-storage place. So she doesn't give a shit about anything that's in that storage unit. That's sad. That's her kids. It's her kids' blankets with her kids' pictures on it, photo albums. Okay, maybe you don't care about the stupid bike or the scooter, but you don't care about your children's blankets with their pictures on them. That means a lot to me. That means a lot. So anyway, after they execute the search warrants at the apartments, the Gilbert police asked if we had any record of Tylee being in Rexburg. And Tylee is, obviously the biologic daughter from her marriage to Joseph Ryan, who is deceased, who also died mysteriously. That's 2 hubbies that have died mysteriously out of 5. 2, seriously. Anyway, Tylee has a brother named Colby. That's the one I was talking about. And he is aware that the Gilbert Police Department has talked with Colby. And Colby says that the last time he spoke with Tylee was on August 30th, 2019 via FaceTime. Gilbert Police that when he tried to contact Tylee after August 30th, Lori would give excuses as to why Tylee could not talk with him. So through their investigation, they've also been informed that Tylee moved to Rexburg with Lori on or about September 1st. And we have been informed that Lori told Melanie Gibb that Tylee was attending classes at BYU, Idaho. However, of course, they checked the records and Tylee was never enrolled at BYU, Idaho, or any school affiliated with BYU. Oh. So they move into the apartment sometime around September 1st or September 2nd. That's corroborated by some of the neighbors who live in the same complex. They did say they saw Tylee at around the residence when he moved in with Lori. The same neighbors actually helped Lori move into her apartment. And they say that they saw Tylee briefly a couple of times after she moved in, but have not seen her since the first couple weeks of September. Their son played with JJ multiple times. These same neighbors have further informed us through Detective Stubbs that one of their children went to Lori's apartment sometime in late September to play with JJ, and the child was informed by Lori that JJ was not there and that he had gone to stay with his grandma. So they do say, so here's the Pioneer Road, has a doorbell camera, and they do see him on September 17th. They're able to determine through phone records that Tylee accompanied Lori, Alex, and JJ on a day trip to Yellowstone National Park on September 8th, 2019. Also through service of a search warrant, RPD has obtained a photo from Lori Vallow's iCloud account of Tylee in Yellowstone National Park that is time-stamped on September 8th. This is the last time we can find any record of Tylee being with Lori, and they have found no witnesses who can verify that they have seen Tylee since September 8th, 2019. Now, here's an interesting thing, and I don't know if this is absolutely true, not absolutely true. I have read some things about it. I am looking into it. My team found out about it, and we are kind of like blown away. So there is what is supposedly called a dead zone at Yellowstone, and it is on the Idaho side. And basically, it boils down to this: you cannot be tried in a district. So you have to be tried by a jury of your peers, and they are supposed to be from the district that you commit your crime in. But Idaho, on the Idaho side, Idaho is the state, but Wyoming is the district, and nobody in Idaho actually lives in the district. So it's like this supposed loophole where she can't be tried. And I wonder if she read that and thought it was true. I don't know if it's absolutely true. If she knows anything about that, I would absolutely love some more information, because everything I've found is just kind of a strange, like, talking about it, but I've never seen it actually be used. Oh, damn it. I'm waiting. Can you guys still see me? Okay, I'm back again. God, what a weird thing. I don't know what's going on, guys. I'm so sorry if I'm still like freezing and going out. Anyway, so if anybody knows about that dead zone, please, please, please let us know, because we're looking into it, but I don't know. It sounds crazy. But if there was ever anything that would apply in this case that would end up being some crazy loophole that this lady could get out of killing her kids, this would be it. Totally it. Totally it. And that was supposed to be Tylee's like 17th birthday. So I don't know. It's just really sad. And there's more to this. Okay, so we're on 27. We've got way more to go. So RPD has verified that Chad and Lori flew from Los Angeles, California to Kauai on December 1st. The information was obtained through a search warrant served on American Airlines. They cannot find any information suggesting that they have returned to the mainland or the United States since that time. And it appears they have been in Hawaii since they arrived, but it does establish that there are no children with them, because they were not with their mother when she flew to Kauai. So they are not there. And there are no records of them ever going to Hawaii before this. So it's not like they were there for the wedding and then came back and didn't come back. Nope, nothing. So they're now living in Hawaii, and he is in contact with the Kauai police, which is how we end up with the search warrant and the arrest record. So they were following them. They've been watching them. Dateline even went out there and tried to get some information. God bless Keith Morrison. That man is amazing. Good investigative reporter. I just love him to death. So, so they have seen Lori and Chad at least 3 times since he was made aware that this is the detective Cataluna, and he said that he's seen them at least 3 times residing on Kauai. Informed us that he had never seen the children with her or him. And so on December 20th, the Rexburg police and the FBI published a press release announcing that JJ and Tylee were missing. Basically, they then tried to force her to produce the children, and she had till January 30th to produce the children. She did not. They were able to identify the babysitter who Lori Vallow had hired to watch JJ. And she informed them that she watched JJ on the 19th of September, and she had met Lori the day before. The babysitter understood that her employment was going to be ongoing, and she reports that on September 24th, 2019, she reached out to Lori, and Lori told her that she wasn't needed anymore. Now, this woman literally goes on record later and says, oh, no, she wouldn't do this. She's not that type of woman. Who the hell, how the hell do you know? You've known her, what, 4 days? 6 days? Unbelievable. So on January 16th, they filed that child protective action and they try to force her to come. She doesn't. She doesn't produce the kids. I don't understand. It's unbelievable to me. And so let's see. So they serve the warrants. And okay, so here's an interesting thing. This is what they find. So during the afternoon of January 26, 2020, he observes the Kauai Police Department serve the search warrants on the persons of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow and on a black Ford Explorer they had rented. The said warrants were served on in the parking lot of the Kauai Beach Resort, and JJ and Tylee were not with Lori and Chad, and the following items were located in their possession: birth certificates for both children, Tylee's financial transaction card, JJ's iPad, which was identified by his initials on the back, and another iPad, which was logged into JJ's Apple account, JJ's school registration receipts from Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg, Idaho. They also learned that Tylee's financial transaction card, which was found with Lori, is still active and has been used since someone last saw Tylee. So, on January 26th, they searched this after the search warrants were served on the person in the vehicle. There was a search warrant served on the condominium in Kauai. They personally observed that they performed the search. In the garage of the condominium, there were 2 beach lawn chairs, 2 yoga fitness mats, and 2 beach towels. There was no other items in the garage that appeared to belong to a minor child. There was nothing found in the condominium that appeared to belong to Tylee or JJ. And there was nothing found in the condominium that would indicate that a 7-year-old boy had been there, such as clothing, toys, children's books, children's medication, nothing. There was a second room other than the master bedroom in the condominium. That second room had no signs of being lived in otherwise occupied. So then they find out that she gives his service dog that she tries to sell his service dog for autism. And that dog was named Bailey, and it was trained by the dog training elite in Arizona. And she tried to actually sell this dog. And then they told her that she could not sell this dog, that she had to go back and get the dog and return the dog. So in November, the investigators talked to Chad's parents, Jack and Sheila, and they live in Utah. And they informed the detectives that Chad and Lori told them in November that Lori Vallow was an empty nester, meaning she has no kids at home. They also talked to Jason and Samantha William. I'm hoping I'm saying that. Samantha is the sister of the deceased Tammy Daybell, and Jason and Samantha informed RPD that Chad told them that Lori had no juvenile children. On February 16, 2020, RPD received a tip from a named individual in Maui, Hawaii, that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were renting a car from Hertz Car Rental at the Maui airport. The informant provided a picture of Chad and Lori. JJ and Tylee were not with Chad and Lori in this picture. Through the investigation, RPD and the FBI have reviewed Lori's bank account and financial information. No information has been found which would suggest that Lori is providing money to anyone caring for JJ or Tylee. And they have found no evidence of verification of anyone providing the housing, food, clothing, education, or medical care of JJ since September 24th and Tylee since September 8th. As the date of this, they are still missing. So, this is what he is talking about, due to Lori Vallow is a legal parent in JJ, nobody has seen or verifiably heard from them since September 8th. They've been living on this island on Hawaii without the children. The condominium is only occupied by them. The medication is not there. The financial transaction card was in the possession of Lori, even though Tylee is not with Lori. All these reasons, he believes that all the reasons that we've gone through, he believes that he has probable cause exists that Lori Vallow has deserted Tylee and JJ pursuant to Idaho Code 18-401, parentheses 1, which states it shall be a felony for every person who, having any child under the age of 18 years dependent upon him or her for care, education, or support, deserts such child in any manner whatever with an intent to abandon it. I further believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow intentionally and willfully abandoned JJ and Tylee pursuant to Idaho Code 18403 and 18405. So, due to the fact that Lori provided verifiably false information telling the RPD that JJ was located in Arizona, and then more false information, they believe the probable cause exists that Lori Vallow did resist, delay, or obstruct a police officer. And the fact that they did solicit Melanie to provide false information, they are saying that she did refuse to obey a lawful order from the court in providing them. So it goes on. Basically, he also says that he thinks she's a flight risk because they left within a day of them even contacting them. Two of the charges are felony abandonment and of a child, which carry up to 14 years in prison apiece. She has no significant ties to Madison County. She no longer has a home there, and she's abandoned a significant amount of property there. She has already displayed a willingness to disobey and ignore a court order by not producing the children. And they have significant financial resources because they're aware that Chad Dabo received at least $430,000 in life insurance proceeds upon the death of his wife, Tammy. And that is why they have enough sufficient funds to roam around. So he is requesting a warrant to be issued, which they do, which I told you I would tell you. So there are 2 counts of desertion and non-support of dependent children under the age of 18. There are arrests and seizures, resisting or obstructing officers. There is criminal solicitation to commit a crime. There is contempt of court, criminal willful disobedience, or court process or order. So basically, she's held on, like I said, $5 million worth of bail. Let's see, what else do I have here? That's just the counts. Okay. That's all of that crazy crap. That was insanity. That's the 911 call for Alex. I'm not going to go over that tonight. I don't see the thing that I was looking for. Hang on. I will pull it up because this is the craziest part of it all. Let me get this because I really, really want you guys to see this. This is crazy. I will be putting this in our Patreon for sure. So what do you guys think so far? I mean, what do you think the kids are alive? Do you think what's going on here? It is super, super strange, in my opinion. I think that something really bad has happened to these kids. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, okay. It's not going. There is this crazy email that was written. I've never seen anything so nutty in my life. You know what? I put it in my, here, let me see. I got it in here so I can read it in here because Colleen and I were going to read it today, but Colleen got mad. I got really behind on some work. So I put it in here. It was the craziest thing I've ever heard. So this is an email about the Daybells. No, just, okay, Chad, this post is different. It's all over the news. Okay. Some of you might know that they are active. They are active Mormons, but that's not what they are. They are not active Mormons. They are some crazy, weird nutball sect in the same or similar group as Julie Rowe and Suzanne Freeman. I have pasted an email that I received firsthand from a friend of Chad. This shit is seriously crazy. This post is not to make fun of people, especially in a tragic situation. I just want people to be aware of what is going on. Here is the email exactly as I received it. And this is from somebody on Reddit that is posting this out there. But I mean, if this is true, which, and it's Reddit, so who they could or could not be true, but it was so crazy. I really felt like I had to read it. So, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, they met technically September 23rd, 2019, through Jason Mao at Temple, and that is the person that they were talking about on their podcast. That they were, talking about his book and stuff. So Chad was told around that time by one of the three Nephites, Mathoni, that a special woman would come into his life. November 2018. Together at this point, at the Mesa Pap event time, Chad and Lori, which is funny because they just said they technically met on the 2019th, but now they're trying to say that November 2018. Maybe they meant 2019. I don't know. Were sealed together in a temple where they traveled to another upper room. Moroni gave Lori to Chad. The Savior was there. Moroni and Chad have been married to Lori in many other relations. Lori is their favorite spouse. Lori has been on 21 planets and Chad 31. Only he was a Holy Ghost. Chad 5 times on this earth and Lori has been 4. Chad makes a portal in Lori's closet so she can visit him. At this time, Chad told Melanie he has no relationship or interest in Julie Rowe. He had also previously said he didn't want anything to do with Suzanne Freeman. Guys, it's getting crazy. Lori and Chad believe they are in charge of gathering the couples for the 144,000. They make charts of who the people are and who is sealed to who, and have many probations they've had and who they have been in past lives. This chart was on Chad's computer and is in his email, so it's now public property. The 12 apostles are on this list. Tammy is on list and was put down as being married to John the Beloved, who is also Enoch. Chad calls Lori and tells her that Charles is now Ned Snyder. Lori tells Charles he has become a zombie. His spirit has been hijacked by an evil spirit, and his spirit is in limbo. Remember now, she told him if he came back from wherever he was, that she would kill him and there would be an angel there to dispose of his body. Okay. Lori tells Charles he has become a zombie. His spirit has been hijacked by an evil spirit, and his spirit is in limbo. He was hijacked again and became Garrett. Then he became Ebelos. There is 10,000 to 20,000 zombies. During this time, Lori is completely open to Charles, who she thinks she is. When she met Chad, she had already been translated in her mind and stopped wearing garments because they are meant to be a protection, and she no longer needs it. Charles falls for divorce and does business trips to Texas. Lori received a revelation that Charles will die in an accident on his way back home from Texas. He doesn't die, and Lori is frustrated and tells Melanie she better leave her house. She calls and has Alex come stay with her. Next morning, Charles is killed. Chad told Alex that he was the angel that had come and stopped Lamon and Lemuel from hurting Nephi, and that he is now, am I paused? He is now Lori's protector. Alex believed all of this, and Melanie believes he was her hitman and dogged the killings. Charles had Lori committed to a mental facility, and they tested her, and she told them who she was, translated, part of the 144,000. They let her go on July 11th, 2019. Charles is killed September 2019. Lori moves with kids to Rexburg. Melanie is aware that Chad and Lori have taken trips together while both of them are still married to their spouses. They took a trip to visit multiple temples and receive revelation on who is part of the 144,000. They get up early in the morning to walk around the BYU track together, holding hands and kissing. Tammy has become suspicious. Chad tells Lori that Tammy has now become a zombie. Lori, meanwhile, is telling Melanie that she can't wait to have sex with Chad and how it's such an important part of who you are and be having it at least once a day. And once she was with Chad, they would be having it 3 times a day. Chad and Lori told Melanie that Alex, Kay, and Tylee have now all become zombies. Lori withdrew them from school, and this was the last time anyone saw them. October 2019, Tammy dies. Chad calls Melanie and tells her not to answer the phone because the police would be calling her because he told them that the kids were with her. Melanie asked where the kids are, and he said they were Kay. Later, police come to her house, and she told them what she knew. She started fearing for her life. She left her kids with her recently divorced husband and kids' father and went and stayed with David Warwick in Utah. They have been dating and are on Chad and Lori's chart. David becomes skeptical and wants out of it. She also records a conversation over phone with Chad and Lori where she confronts them about their false beliefs and cheating on their spouses. Lori blows her off and quotes scriptures of why Melanie is wrong. This was early January to November 2019. Chad and Lori married day after Thanksgiving. Melanie receives email from Lori full of beautiful pictures of their wedding on the beach. She didn't even know they got married at this point. December 2019, Alex dies. Possible blood clot in the lung, ? Melanie says kids are most likely dead. All were probably killed by Alex. Melanie remembers that Lori and Chad were frustrated why Tammy had not died yet. Chad told Lori it's not that easy to get someone's spirit out of their body. At any time, Lori and Chad could tell the number of zombies they were in any given state, usually around 20,000 nationally. They also said two of the apostles are now zombies, Ballard and Renland. They also believe that the SHTF is this year, and they could just wait this out in Hawaii and then come back. I've been in a cult, guys. Okay. I was in one when I was in my 20s for just a very short amount of time. International Churches of Christ. I will tell my story later. But I helped several people leave that cult. I have never odds volcano. What the fuck? Oh, when we're reconnecting again. Anybody have anything to say about that? I am blown away. Then there's a guy who comments, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, it just says that the guy that Melanie married in Rexburg is my brother's friend, and as far as I know, they are both cooperating with the police. My parents were part of a culty group out of Rexburg and Rigby over the past few years. They were using ritually blessed water and would perform rituals on Mormon temple grounds around the Western United States. They thought they had to do these ceremonies before Jesus would come back. They would also bless lakes and rivers so they wouldn't get poisoned when Jesus returns. They would have secret meetings and perform exorcisms and thought they had been chosen to the coming of Christ. My dad was pretty tight-lipped, but it sounds like Chad may have been loosely associated with this group. There is a lot of crazy shit going on in Rexburg and Rigby. The thing is this email sounds similar to some of the things my parents have said. It's kind of freaky. Unbelievable. But these kids are still missing. I sadly do not believe the children are with us anymore. I think she thinks that they turned into zombies and she killed them. Personally, I think that's all a ruse, and I think it's some bullshit. That's what they're using. I personally think it was for life insurance money and for money from Chad Vallow. She stole thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars from him. And I think that the children witnessed his death and that they were getting to a point where they were not complying with what she wanted them to do, and she got rid of them. That's my opinion. Hashtag my opinion. I don't know. I just pray that all these kids come home. Sadly, in both cases, I am very concerned. In Gannon's case, if the stepmother didn't do something and something did happen to him, the chances of him even just have wandering off and being injured, not coming home. He was out in the snow. It's been continuous snow there and blizzards and everything else. So the elements, even if he had just something happened that way, the elements still, I do not have hope that that child is going to be found. If he was kidnapped, probably not a good thing. And my money is still on the stepmother because she's super weird and creepy and she says weird, strange things. And she's the last person with him. And there's a whole point about I hurt him. And her story doesn't make any sense with him dripping blood everywhere and hurting his foot, then going hiking, then going shopping, not going to school, but not going to the doctor. And in this case, dear God, I don't know what is going on. I am serious. Like, blow my mind. Anyway, I'm trying to reconnect again. Okay. Anyway, so next week we'll be back on Friday and we'll be doing a missing person case. I'm not sure which one we're going to do yet. I have a couple that we want to do. And then I know that we are going to do either a case out of Japan with Junko, or we might do the Faith C word, I think is her name, the little 6-year-old girl who they just recovered and they think that the neighbor did it. So we have a couple of those things coming up. We are going to resume. Actually, we're not going to resume. We're going to start over on our Lacey Spears stuff because we're waiting. We are getting the files and we have that coming, but Colleen and I are going to start over because it's been so long and that was with a former co-host and we'd rather have, the thoughts and feelings of who we have now. And I'm sure you guys will appreciate that. Anyway, if there are any cases that you guys would like us to cover or this, either drop them in the comment section below, or you can email us at goodwivesdish@gmail.com. But thank you so much for tuning in, dishing true crimes with the Good Wives and Murder by Design. Don't forget to join our Patreon member club to get exclusive mini episodes, inside documents, and pictures from all of our cases. We do live YouTube discussions in there. We also offer exclusion discussion group on Facebook where you can talk with us. And you get some amazing Good Wives merch. And we just got our shirts made and we've got coffee mugs and all kinds of cool stuff coming out. Be able to see all of that. You get some of it for free for at whatever level. And then it is murder-design. And for more information, please check out our podcast that airs every Monday on the Good Wives Guide to True Crime. And it's on any of your favorite podcast players. So we have been talking about the toolbox killers on our new season, and we have some amazing information and some interviews and all kinds of cool stuff. So please, guys, find the Good Wives Guide to True Crime and follow us over there. Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime one dish at a time. Good night, guys.